Hi, this is Ranadi Madhu. I've come up with another video. This time I'm going to give a lecture on a very trivial constitutional right. The right is called right to freedom. Right to freedom, you have heard about constitutional six rights. Right to freedom, right to freedom, right to equality, right to constitutional remedies, and so on and so forth. But today's topic is on right to freedom. The right to freedom could be any sort of freedom, as long as you are not finding any restrictions. But today's topic is on right to freedom of speech. So this right to freedom of speech has been given to even to a child, or even to a baby also. When a baby cries, when a baby cries, that time, through his crying or her crying, that baby has the inbuilt right to freedom of speech, of crying and communicating with others, the mothers. So right from the beginning, right from the inception of a birthing, we are being given right to freedom of speech. Now over the years, as time passes on, the right to freedom of speech has gone through many changes, and basically being supported by various additive devices, be it a telephone, be it a mic, be it a smartphone, be it a written form through laptop, tablet, smartphone once again. But we have been given the right to freedom of speech through verbal way, right from day one, meaning through radio. But that mode of communication has not been supported by our government of India so far. That mode of communication has not been given any sort of support to the Aam Aadmi. The radio is the only support or only assistance of a Aam Aadmi, but that Aam Aadmi is not able to use a radio. Radio has become a support or become a help of unreachable. The high-end businessman can able to use a radio through establishing his own radio channel. Why Aam Aadmi won't be able to use a radio? And it is free of cost. It's a one. And if you talk about technological assistance, it's a very simple frequency changes in propagation of messages, and it is made free of cost since 30-40 years back. But the Aam Aadmi has not been given access to radio channel by giving a verbal connections from end customer point. We are simply becoming a listener. We are simply listening the radio communications, but we do not have the say or by directly connecting with the radio, though we have the mic placed. We have been given the mic in the form of a smartphone. We have been given the mic in the form of a telephone. We have been given a mic in the form of laptop, but we have not given a mic in the form of radio. So the time has come that Aam Aadmi should raise his voice to the government, asking them that we should be given red mic in radio itself, such that we can directly connect with the radio broadcasters, with the communicators, with the source point. We don't have to depend on smartphone or telephone to connect with the radio broadcasters. It is completely nonsense in nature. Why this kind of idiotic technological nonsensical movement should be there? A Aam Aadmi cannot become a listener to the radio. The Aam Aadmi should be having a say to the radio. He has the right to freedom of speech to go against the communicable messages directly, not indirectly through smartphone or laptop or SMSs. So the radio should be such that whenever there is a broadcasting activity happening, the listener will be having the equal say to the broadcaster. So that technology has not been given. So nowadays I have recently witnessed a radio activity wherein Radio King, a website, actually is giving a possibility of creating your own radio station. But that kind of activity will once again become a one-way communication, not a two-way communication. So one way or the other, every radio broadcasters know that the end listeners have to be given the chance of freedom of speech directly to the broadcaster. The end listeners should directly connected to the broadcaster, should be connected to the broadcasters. So I was just thinking on these lines, then all of a sudden I came across this facility of creating your own radio station without the help of anybody. So anybody, Aam Admi, can create their own radio station. So I installed that Radio King software in laptop and started utilizing all the features which a normal 98.3 Dead FM or Radio Mirchi, whatever renowned radio stations are there, are using. And it's very easy. So all of a sudden, after some days of usage, that Radio King station all of a sudden wiped out. They asked for money. What do you mean by that? Radio is a mode of communication from our side as well as from broadcaster side. It's basically a radio is a telephone or a smartphone. Without dialing anything, you can directly connect with your end listeners or your desirable receivers. So in that sense, we have not been given, though through constitutional 6 fundamental rights, we are not been given any sort of freedom in right to freedom of speech. We have become actually listeners. We don't have any right to freedom of speech. Right to freedom of speech should be given directly from home, through electronic devices, through TV. Obviously through TV you should also allow this kind of activities. Through radio. Why should we have to go outside our home and stand on a platform and express our views in order to support or in order to strengthen the right to freedom of speech? So many speeches happening here and there, on road, processions happening on road. People are shouting, making chaotic situation on the road in order to express their views. Why this kind of idiotic steps would happen? Why RG Core agitation has come on road? Why the RG Core agitation has not been concentrated inside the home? Have we ever tried to understand this? Why a road would be blocked for procession, for shouting their demands? Why the same thing can be done from home? If our radio, if our television would have appreciated our communications from end listeners to the broadcasters, have we ever thought of going outside our home for keeping our demands? We can directly communicate through our radio to the end customers, to the broadcasters. We don't have to lie on the road, creating a traffic jam, shouting, making chaotic situation. These things are happening since 30-40 years. Even a political party is doing like that. Every political party, why they will shout? Why they will shout on the road? Why? Why this kind of idiotic things will happen? Have we ever able to connect through a TV or radio, and the end listeners will also be able to communicate to the broadcaster? Then this sort of activities would have not been taken place outside our home. This entire concentration should have been happening inside our home itself. So you can understand the freedom of speech, the constitutional right, the basic constitutional right, has not been given fully to Aam Admi. This right has been some way or the other suppressed over the years, and because of which the Aam Aadmi has come out of its way, going on the road and shouting and demanding their views, demanding for right to freedom of speech. It's been 30-40 years. 30 years back also, political parties used to put a pandal and try to give his freedom of speech through mic, creating a chaotic situation in and around the locality. But have you ever understood these things could have been avoided had we given the radio communication two-way? If two-way radio communication had been given, then this kind of activities would not have been taken place. Our MLAs could have been directly connected through radios. There should be a common platform on radio channel through which we can express our views, and those views will be listened by everybody, Aam Aadmi, inside that locality. That way our MLA will be able to connect with those views inside that common radio station. We don't have to go outside to speak out, to scream in order to demand. Everything could have been done through radio. But radio has been given, but it is only one way. It is not two-way. There should be always two-way communications, and it should be done from home. So that's it. This kind of videos will give you some suggestion in order to how to create proper two-way communications with your broadcaster, with your government, with your shopkeeper, with your tailor, with your doctor, with your engineers, with your, what else do we have, with your market. So these sort of two-way communications, especially through radios, should happening each and every day, such that we don't have to depend on smartphone, laptops, telephone. What are the other ways? And this way we can directly communicate with each and everybody inside a locality, such that whenever there is a problem arising, that problem would be immediately addressed. I believe that walkie-talkie, the features called walkie-talkie, has come to our operational activities, just to ensure that the basic problem should be addressed then and there only. You must have heard about the proverb called, when iron is hot, then only you can hammer. That is the right way to hammer. So that kind of thing should be taken place. And when smartphone and laptop and all these features devices are using, it becomes a one-to-one communication. A basic problem cannot be addressed through one-to-one communication. A basic problem should be addressed through one-to-many communications, such that those who are in many communication, those who are having the solution, that solution can be immediately applied. So that should be the target for each and everybody. And I believe that our government should take initiative in terms of creating a two-way communication through radio, such that you can directly connect with the broadcasters as well as our government and whoever our stakeholders, such that there would be minimum chaotic situation. We don't have to depend on telephone or smartphone connections all the time. And radio will definitely give that kind of option, and is a platform wherein a common problem can be shared across the masses inside the locality, and solution will be immediately available. So that's it. If you feel like giving a thumbs up to this video, please do so, and please subscribe my channel Ronnie's Identity in YouTube, and stay tuned for more updates and videos. And I wish you a nice day. Bye.